There was once a man named Ethan Cole, a successful architect from Seattle. He had a good job, a small apartment overlooking the city, and people who cared about him. But behind his calm smile lived a storm. Ethan couldn't control his thoughts. No matter what he did, his mind kept racing, replaying failures, imagining worst-case scenarios, whispering that he wasn't enough. Every morning before his eyes opened, the noise started. You're behind. You're not doing enough. You'll fail again. And before the day even began, he already felt defeated. He tried everything: meditation apps, therapy, motivational books. They helped for a few days. Then the negative thoughts returned, louder and sharper. It felt like his brain had a mind of its own. One weekend, exhausted and desperate for silence, Ethan drove to visit his grandfather, Samuel Cole, a retired farmer who lived in the countryside. Samuel was 82, wise, calm, and content in a way Ethan could never understand. That evening, as they sat on the porch watching the sunset turn the sky gold, Ethan finally said, "Grandpa, I don't understand. I've achieved everything I thought I wanted, but my mind never stops fighting me. I can't control my thoughts. It's like I'm trapped in my own head." Samuel smiled gently and said, "Son, your problem isn't that you have too many thoughts. It's that you never learn how to garden them." Ethan frowned. "Garden them?" Samuel nodded. "Let me explain something that took me a lifetime to learn. Your mind," Samuel said, "is like a garden. Every thought you think, good or bad, is a seed. Some grow into flowers, others into weeds. And your mind doesn't care what you plant. It will grow whatever you feed it." Ethan listened quietly. The old man continued, "Most people don't realize they're the gardeners. They let the wind, the world, the people around them, their fears, blow random seeds into their soil. Someone insults them, a weed grows. They scroll through bad news, more weeds. They think about what could go wrong, and soon the whole garden is covered in thorns." Samuel looked at Ethan and said softly, "That's what's happened to you, son. You've been watering your weeds." Ethan looked away. The words hit him harder than he expected. "When I was young," Samuel continued, "I used to get angry at the weeds on my farm. I'd curse them, pull them out, stomp on them. But no matter what I did, they came back. Then one day I realized the weeds weren't the problem. My focus was, I was giving them all my attention. I was watering them every day with my anger. The more I fought them, the stronger they grew." Ethan leaned forward, listening now. "The trick," Samuel said, "isn't to fight the weeds. It's to plant better seeds and to water them more." That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. The idea of his mind as a garden replayed again and again. For years, he had been trying to destroy bad thoughts, fighting them, running from them, drowning them in noise. But what if he simply stopped feeding them? The next morning, he decided to test his grandfather's advice. When he woke up, instead of scrolling through his phone, he sat quietly and thought about 3 things he was grateful for. It felt awkward, but he did it anyway. When his mind whispered, "You're not good enough," he replied softly, "I'm learning and growing." When he made a mistake at work, he didn't replay it 10 times. He told himself, "It's one small weed in a big garden. I'll do better next time." At first, nothing changed. His thoughts still came. The fear, the overthinking, the worry, but now he didn't feed them. He noticed them, smiled, and turned back to what he wanted to grow. Slowly, something began to shift. His mornings became quieter, his focus sharper. He found small moments of peace that he hadn't felt in years. One day, a colleague snapped at him during a meeting. The old Ethan would have spent hours replaying it. But this time, he simply told himself, "That's their weed, not mine," and let it go. He finally understood what his grandfather meant. Control wasn't about fighting thoughts. It was about choosing which ones deserved attention. Weeks later, Ethan visited his grandfather again. He looked lighter, calmer, more himself. "I think I understand now," Ethan said. "The weeds never really go away, do they?" Samuel smiled. "No, son, they'll always be there. But once your flowers start growing, the weeds don't bother you as much. They stop taking over. You see them, you accept them, but you don't water them. Ethan nodded slowly. So, the secret isn't to control every thought. It's to choose your thoughts, Samuel finished. To decide which ones get sunlight, which ones get water, and which ones you leave in the dark. They sat in silence, watching the sun dip behind the hills. Ethan felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. Not because his mind was empty, but because he finally understood that it didn't need to be. Over time, Ethan made this his daily practice. Each morning, he planted 3 good seeds: gratitude, patience, and hope. He stopped reacting to every negative thought that passed through his head. Instead, he treated them like clouds, noticing them but letting them drift away. And just like a real garden, his inner world began to change. He became calmer under pressure, kinder to himself, and more focused on what truly mattered. When stress returned, he no longer panicked. He reminded himself, this is just another weed. It doesn't deserve my water. Months later, he shared his grandfather's metaphor with a friend going through anxiety. That friend shared it with another. Soon, Ethan's story spread. A simple truth passed from one mind to another. You can't stop weeds from growing, but you can stop watering them. You can't control every thought, but you can control what you focus on. Your mind will grow what you nurture, and what you nurture becomes your life. So today, plant wisely. Water thoughts that make you strong. Star the ones that hold you back. Because in the end, peace doesn't come from controlling your mind. It comes from learning how to grow it.